All I'm saying is, gentlemen, don't be coming at us with this brand shit. We earned it. We earned the right to get the benefit of the doubt. Now, when we talk about let's look beyond brand because y'all hate Bama so much. Let's look at
not true.
Let's look at the statistics because again, we talking about what? Flawed teams, right? We talking about flawed teams. They're not perfect. When you invite 12 in, you're gonna get some issues with some teams that's on the bubble.
Yep.
This is gonna be that way forever until they expanded to 16. Then we're gonna be talking about
4 lost teams.
Yeah,
right.
So let's get to it, shall we? Bama, out of the 4 bubble teams, have the best strength of record at 10. Miami was 14, Ole Miss 18, South Carolina 11. Strength of schedule, which is what the committee looks at. These are the indicators that say, hey, this team may be better than that because wins and losses are not all the time equal because we don't play an equal schedule. We don't play in an equal conference. Strength of schedule. Out of the bubble teams remaining, and Bama's even out of the teams in the CFP have one of the highest strength of schedules at 17. Miami, 86. Ole Miss, 31. Now, South Carolina have a comparable one. They at 15. So they're a little bit higher than Bama's on the strength of schedule thing. But then you move it to top 25 wins. We all know Miami ain't got one. They don't have one. Top 25 win of the teams that have ended the season, because you can't look at, preseason rankings or whatever. But top 25 wins, Bama 4, Miami 0, Ole Miss 2, South Carolina 3. So they have close to comparable statistics with Bama. But then you put South Carolina and Bama together, who got the head-to-head? Bama got the head-to-head. So there's no comparison. There's no comparison. I mean, it's comparison, but you can't be mad. You can't be mad.
Fair.
I mean, he's not wrong in anything. You're not wrong in anything that you're saying.
Absolutely not. I'm never wrong.
You're not wrong. There ended up being a path for Bama to be in there over Miami. It's fair when you start looking at who played who won this, who won. Okay, so yeah. The last time we discussed it, I said that I would rather see Miami in there over Bama. But it was
because you're a Bama hater. But
no, it's. I've been thinking about it.
Like J.K. on the Fine Bomb show.
Ever since they put the facts out there as far as who the wins Bama has versus the wins Miami have. Mm-hmm. I've been thinking about it like this. Aesthetically, the games that when Bama lost, I felt like Bama got beat. I felt like Bama got beat by Vanderbilt. I felt like Bama got beat by who else beat y'all?
Tennessee. Oklahoma, Tennessee.
Okay, so I felt like y'all got beat in those games, and then I watched Miami play two games this year, and when I go over those games and then I listen to the analysts, they felt like Miami went to bed in their losses. What do you think? You probably saw some of the series.
Define your beat.
I've seen 5 or 6 Miami games. I haven't seen them play defense yet. So I
define your beat. And then when you look at Miami, you know what I'm saying, the wins, 2 of the wins, controversial.
Right.
At the beginning of the season, they had some
in the middle of the season too. I think they got a favorable call against Virginia Tech, and I can't remember the other team that they skated by. But when you talk about beat versus Bama got beat versus Miami went in the bed, what do you mean? Every team that lose got beat.
Right, but what I'm saying is aesthetically, I felt I wanted to see Miami's offense over.
Okay, so that's what you're saying. You think it'll just look better offensively,
over what Alabama is doing offensively, which sometimes you get the good Bama offensively. Then sometimes you get the bad Bama offensively, and the bad Bama offensively is going to be out there trying to throw the fucking ball. And don't nobody want to see that.
That ain't true. The bad Bama offensively want to run with Jalen Miro rather than hand the ball off to the running backs. That's one thing I got.
They obviously
but or trying to throw the ball.
Who's been the best runner on the team?
He's been the most explosive runner, but he get more opportunities too.
Yeah. Well,
when you got two powerhouse running backs that are good, and you revert to in Oklahoma specifically.
Yeah. Well,
against Oklahoma specifically, that was the worst game plan. But let's not make this about Bama because, as I said Tuesday, that if Bama was on the outside looking in, I have no issue whatsoever. We will look at statistics, but we put losing to Vandy, losing to a bad Oklahoma team, put us in that predicament. So you can't complain.
But at the end of the day,
you cannot complain, especially when you have everything in front of you to control it.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing about Miami. You
had a
controlled your own destiny.
Right.
You was up 21 against Syracuse.
Right. And you blew it.
Your coach kicks a meaningless field goal. Like, you blew it. Cristobal blew it. His defense blew it. When you get down to 8, 9, 10, I knew when they switched to this is what it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? When you get to 8 through 12s, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. Earn your way in. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. Miami going into that game when they were up 21, they knew what they needed to do. They had to win that game. They knew they hadn't beaten anybody.
In some years, you're going to have 11 teams that okay, 1, 2 lost teams. You're going to have those years.
Right.
But most years, if you go back and look at the history of even when you look at the rankings in the CFP, there's 2 and 3 lost teams that's like, okay, they on the outside looking in. They right there, but, they not there. And, you know what I'm saying? You can't complain. It's 12 teams. It ain't where you lose one game and it's over with, but you lose 2, 3 games. 2 games, and I can see that's what Miami fans are upset. We ain't only lost 2 games.
Right, but if you got a cupcake schedule, then you can't lose 2.
Yeah, you
can only lose 1. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got a cupcake schedule. You can only lose 1.